very important aspect of debate is your body language. So unless I see you, that aspect is not judged. Debate is not like a speech where you can switch off the camera and just speak. So very important to maintain a good body language, a good posture, a good facial expression, and your facial expression must match the words that you're speaking. Okay, good evening everybody. Today we have a debate, an inter-school debate from all across the country, and we have 6 bright participants joining in the debate. The topic for today's debate is, should parents decide a child's future? So it is a very contemporary topic, and these days young people are very independent in their way of thinking. Some of them would agree with the fact that parents are the best judges to decide your career, and some of them would be against it. So let's start off with the debate. The rules of the debate I'll just read out to you. Each participant will make an opening remark within 2 minutes. So please don't exceed the time limit. This will be followed by an open discussion where participants need to raise hands to share their feedback and rebuttal to the statements within the time limit of 2 minutes for each participant. The open floor will be moderated and all have to comply with the moderator's decision. Each participant will be put on mute once their speaking duration of 2 minutes is over. So, like I said before, it is not participant and then discussion. It is all the participants. You air your views within 2 minutes. After we finish with all the 6 participants, will we have the rebuttal session. Okay? So, you'll be marked on content of your debate, the oratory skills, your presentation skills, clarity of thought, and your confidence in speech. So I see that all of you are looking very nice and well dressed. Unfortunately, there's no boy on the debate. They're all girls, and I look forward to this debate. So thank you very much, and let us now start.
Greetings to one and all present here. My name is Sonal Gupta. My pronouns is she and her, and today I'll be speaking for the topic, should parents decide the career option for a child? It's quite rightly said by Matthew Jacobson. Behind every young child who believes in himself is a parent who believed in him first. Respiration, digestion, assimilation are all biological processes that a child gets familiarized with. But the first process a child gets familiarized is the parenting he witnesses. Parenting is a very important process right from the birth which carries out to adulthood. So when we say that should parents decide the career of a child, we first need to look at the word decide. Decision making is a very imperative term. When we say the word decision making, a child's opinions and consultation is very important. So when we say should parents decide the career of a child, I agree with this statement. A good parenting is very much important for a child to explore his interests. A parent acting like a facilitator gives the child his wings to explore the career options he or she wishes to in this world. COVID-19 taught us the importance of emotional quotient over intelligence quotient. Our Indian society is very much implicated with the fact that we do not have any clear dichotomies. So the fact that career, money, science stream is so overrated that a child is not able to decide and explore who we are, because the societal influences are so strong that we are unable to see what we want to do. So at this point of time, a parent plays a very important role in facilitating and deciding the career of the child. But do we say that a parent should only decide the career of the child? A parent should act as a facilitator and should value the opinion of the child to become an important decision maker for himself and for the others around him. The needs and wants of the child should be valued as much as the needs and the wants of the parent. Preparing a career map, list of options, colleges, discussions, fee structure, everything is very important. And a parent's role is very crucial in that. So that's why I'm saying that yes, I agree with the statement that a parent plays an imperative role in the development of the child and for deciding the career of the child. Thank you.
Thank you, Sonal. Can we have Florence next?
I present here. My name is Florence Rakusha. Today I will be speaking against a motion. The topic is that parents should decide the career of their child. I think that no parent should not decide the career of their child because nowadays parents starts to pressure their child to get into a particular field, which can be told a child's mental health. The child should be given opportunity to choose his or her career in which he is interested. If the child will choose the career in which he or she is interested, he or she will be more creative and will be doing the work good. If child is doing his or her work by pressure, the working hours will be hectic for him or her. I think that choosing a career is a life-changing thing, which should be decided by the person who is going to further and work on it. The career is something which changes our life, builds our life, and it gives something to us. We can achieve many things by our career. So I believe that parents should not be allowed to just pressure the child. They should guide their child to get into this field or that field. Deciding the career by parents creates a huge thinking gap.
Thank you, Florence. Next we have Maria.
Mata Pita Guru Devo Bhava. A very good evening to one and all present here. I'm Maria in grade 9 from Bright Public School, Bangalore, speaking in motion for the topic, should parents choose your career? Well, it's just the nature of every parent to give the best for their children. The best clothes, the most nutritional food, and the best education. So the question to ponder here is, will not the same parent choose the best career for their children? Yes, it is a beautiful thing when a passion and a career comes together. However, who is the one that's beside you all the time and who's the one that's beside you all the time and identifies your passion much before you realize it yourself? Of course, it is the parents. The parents' life revolves around the children. The parents who have brought the children up and been with the children would have also identified the children's strengths and weaknesses. They will be able to analyze a better career for the children. Wow, wow, wow. Hats off to the parents. Hats off to their untiring, unpaid, lifelong job of parenting their child. Now coming to the child's perspective, parents have been a role model and have gained the trust of the children. So even the children would rather prefer to go by the decision of the parents for their own good. It is very true that sometimes children get carried away by the whims and fantasies of the world. If a child chooses a good career, then parents would definitely support it. If a child wants to choose something new or a different field, then the parents would be skeptical about it. So the child could educate their parents by providing some data and facts to support their idea.
Unmute yourself, Maria. You don't mute.
Yeah. So, however, the final decision should be made in the hands of the parents. Thank you.
Okay, Shreya.
Namaste ma'am, I am Shreya Khatkar from Bhavan Vidyalaya Panchkula and I am speaking for the topic in the motion that parents should choose their child's career or they should have an imperative role to say in the family. From the holy Vedas to the famous quotes of renowned philosophers, parents have been given all the prayers and glory there is in the world. Parents know us more than we shall ever know ourselves, and this is excluding the endless love and care they give us. Considering this fact, this house firmly believes that parents should choose their children's career. As my companions before me, Sonal and Maria have given an amazing analysis about why parents have an imperative role in their child's career. In this scenario, let's analyze the review of the stakeholders, that is the parents and the children first. First of all, the parents, their passion. Parents are the ones who undergo a lot of changes to bring up their children so they can live a healthy and happy life. Every parent wishes to see that their their children well established in their life, and thus they have the right to determine a more suitable career for their children. Decreases the burden on the children. Thinking of choosing a proper career takes on a serious note, often during exam periods. Children should leave the decision on their career on their parents and concentrate on the ongoing exams. Next is a very important fact, that is maturity. Children may sometimes arrive at taking bad decisions about their careers. If they do so, they may regret their decision later on in life. Then is support. Parents give endless support to their children by guiding and keeping them on the right career path. No parent would like to ruin their kid's future by making a bad decision. Next is experience. We should forever remember that parents are more experienced than children. They have understood the world better than their children, and therefore their judgment would be better and right. In this scenario, the students or the children are the most important stakeholders as their life is being taken into consideration. To bring about a healthy decision, mutual coordination between the parent and the child has to be taken into consideration. For example, if the child takes the decision himself or herself, there is a very, very high probability of the child not pursuing what he or she initially decided upon. For example, let's take the present scenario of children dropping out from their previous taken streams and going back to their plus 1 and plus 2 grades and doing it again from the very beginning. Instead, they should have taken their parents' consultation, and they should have consulted their parents about what they are good at and what they would enjoy both economically, physically, emotionally, mentally. All these factors they should consider. And to conclude, I would like to say that there is no doubt that parents have an imperative role in choosing their child's career. Thank you.
Thank you. Anna?
Good evening, dignified dignitary, eminent guests, and my fellow debaters. I, Aina Chandel of Class 10 from Ellen House Public School, Panki, Kanpur, Uttar Pradesh, strongly convicts my opposition on the topic, should parents decide students' career? We raise our dreams in cages and complain that they grew to be a wingless bird. Parents' place in a life is irreplaceable. Their love is unconditional. Their intense notion for a betterment is undeniable. There is nothing in the world that can defeat the powerful belief of a parent in their child. Their determined, urgent, tireless effort have represented stupendous miracle in their children's personality. I strongly believe that what my parents desire for me is something the best, that no one else would ever want for me. So I'm not literally raising the questions of the intentions of the parent here, because it is next to committing a cardinal sin. But I'm raising a question on the unrealistic expectations that most of the parents have from their children. Expectations of seeing their artistic child as an efficient engineer who could have in vogue life to mirror portraits but end up being an unsuccessful 9-to-5 desk job employee. Expectations of seeing their sport-inclined child as a doctor who could have played nationals but end up being a dissatisfied medical degree holder. Yes, there have been existence of unrealistic, unjustifiable expectations from the children under the pretext of being an only support of aging parents. Many dreams have died or still suffocating because they belong to the child who always had upheld different ambitions and ambitious visualization. Now let's see some data how not only these dreams died but also children with unrealistic expectation lost their battle of being perfect individuals with huge remuneration. According to National Crime Bureau records, it is proven that under the influence of the pressure by the parents, child commits suicide, and a sample of 80 students were surveyed from various professional colleges and schools. That children have stuffed themselves neatly into the expectations box. All of us have thoughts of making the change occasionally, but if you feel like there is a constant ping pong match in your mind, then you are pouring far too much energy into mental gymnastics. Thank you.
Thank you, Anna. And Arshi?
Ma'am, I'm audible?
Yes.
Okay. A very warm namaste to honorable members of the jury, my worthy opponents, and the audience. My name is Arshi Mukherjee, and I am a member of the World Team Parliament. I study in grade 11 in Bhavan Vidyalaya Panchkula, Haryana, and I would be speaking against the motion, should parents decide our career? When the missile man of India, Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam, asked his father for permission to leave Rameshwaram and study at the district headquarters in Ramanathapuram, his father said to Kalam's resident father, "Your children are not your children. They are the sons and daughters of life's longing for itself. They come through you, but not from you. You may give them your love, but not your thoughts, for they have their own thoughts." This is an apt saying from an excerpt in the NCERT English textbook. It is the child who has to decide his or her career path. After class 10 boards, there is a thought. If my child chooses science, he or she would earn well and be happy throughout his or her life. This is the thought when parents try to decide their child's career. Parents often oversee the fact that if the path is well designed and one pours out one's heart into it, money itself follows, and so does happiness. They would be better off than running in a rotating hamster ball from 9 to 7, earning a six-figure salary. I believe that even if the child's decision doesn't turn out well, and let's imagine the worst. Say, he went to college to pursue English, his favorite subject. He wanted to be a writer someday, but his book fails miserably. Now what? Does it mean he should have listened to his parents and became an engineer or a doctor himself? No. Here, I believe the child's planning wasn't well enough. He may not have researched well about his chosen path. Such cases can be tackled from an early age, and some skills come in handy with this. That is, reflection upon one's decision, independent decision making, and awareness of one's surroundings. The internet isn't new to us and is an ocean to look up for people in the same field and take insights from them. Career fests and workshops have come to an aid to avoid such situations. It tries to bring the experts of several fields right in front of the children. Hence, the key is that children must decide their own career path with the help of resources easily available to them. Thank you and namaste.
Thank you, Ashi. Okay, now that all the 6 speakers have spoken, you could raise your hand and question other speakers. Address the question to the speaker you want to answer.
Okay, ma'am. So my question is to Shreya. So as you mentioned about the Holy Vedas and about the fact that the parents have the right to determine the career of the child, I would like to ask you that as Lord Krishna states in the very Holy Veda, that you have given birth to the child but not to its needs and aspirations. So how would you define both the statements that you mentioned in your speech and about how can parents just rightly determine the career of the child and at the same time it goes line with the statement that you referred to?
First of all, I would like to repeat the statement that I said in the very beginning, that parents have an imperative role in the child's career, but they do not force their child. They do not have the final say on what the child wants in a career. That final choice remains on the child himself or herself. As for the fact of the Holy Vedas, in the Holy Vedas, as you said about the fact of Sri Krishna, it is also said that parents are the form of gods. They are our caretakers, and they are the only forms that connects us to the form up above. They connect to the form of up above. So that becomes contrasting, and I have summarized it in one point, that parents have been given all the praise and glory there is in the world.
And when a parent acts like a facilitator, it increases the emotional quotient of the child. It leads to satisfaction, happiness, which are very important. And they, as we witnessed, were very crucial elements of the COVID era, because the COVID era taught us the importance of staying healthy mentally and physically. So that's
Shreya, you can ask.
I had a few questions actually, but I'll constrict my questions to just two. My first question is to Miss Arma. Am I pronouncing that correct? I hope I am. So my question is that parents have unrealistic expectations. You said that parents have unrealistic expectations towards their child, and their only goal is to support their aging parents. I was not convinced with this statement, considering my fact that today the world is changing. Now the parents want their children to be happy. They don't want them to be constrained towards that particular career and that particular mindset. That would lead to a generation of oppression, as the phrase goes. So I would like you to justify this point in
Conceived awareness. I would like to address this question by saying parents should realize that having unrealistic expectations from their kids is that there is a traditional mindset, especially in India, that a student should choose science stream and they should go for the career that is highly respected. So these are the expectations, and moreover, these are some unrealistic expectations because they are not meant for actually just for like money. It is more about the idealistic expectations because
I think all of you have had the opportunity of questioning one another, and we will stop the question answer round now because it's getting a bit repetitive. Anybody who would like to make a added statement to what they have said? I'm allowing this because I think what you spoke was very, very short compared to even the time that you were given. So anything that you was left behind, you could take an additional minute. Yes.
I would like to say that recent in the news was the crisis that Delhi is facing. Its science classes are falling short. Teachers are there, but the students' benches are lying empty. Why? Children are thinking about their future, talking with their parents, and understanding that the need of their hour is their happiness, and making their parents understand the same. Thus, they're opting the same options, and it is being shown that parents are actually getting more supported by the hour. I would like to say that there are chances that this is that the child decision. There are high probability that the child's decision does not turn out well. But with the parents' consultation, parents they are very more experienced than children, and they understand the world better than children. They know whether they will be able to fill their stomach with that career, whether they will be able to feel happy with that career, whether they will be able to have a roof over their head with that career. They think that decision after taking all these factors into consideration. Now, Archie talked about those career camps that are being organized. I would like to say that these career camps mostly they are funded and are provided by private schools. Government schools usually have counselors, but those counselor seats are falling short, and they usually the government school students do not have the provision of talking with a counselor, and thus discussing with their parents what they want to do as a career would be the right choice in this situation for them. Next is children have their own resources to guess what their career will be, and I would like to say that in search engines such as Google and Yahoo, there is a huge influence of the United States of America on these search engines, and some careers are just not suitable for our country. They do not well pay, and the child, if suppose in the COVID times, in the pandemic, everything shut down suddenly, and that created a lot of problem for many professions. So considering that in mind, now parents will definitely consider these all factors when deciding what their child wants, and talking to their child what their child wants, seeing what their child wants, what the child is excelling. I think parents should have a huge say in this decision.
Thank you, Shreya. Thank you. Yes, Arna?
Yes, I wanted to add this thing that choosing a wrong career will affect your psychology, and your psychology will also affect your physiology. So it's a low hump in your mind late at night, keeping you awake. It's the distress that permits your thoughts. It's the fear that drifts in and out of your thoughts. That every morning you have this thought of feeling. You can't ignore it any longer. You're not just in the wrong job. You're in altogether a wrong field. You took a serious wrong turn somewhere in your career, yet starting with something fresh, new career, or staying back on the same career, it's terrifying. So even like if we talk about the if I have to state the analysis, then total 190 students from grade 11 to 12 of 3 government aided and 3 private schools in Kolkata, India was surveyed. In the study, and according to those studies, stress arises because of the combination of internal and external pressure. That external pressure comes from the parent, and the internal pressure it increases as the external pressure from the parents, from the relatives, from the peer pressure increases. So it exceeds the individual resource to cope up with that situations.
Okay, thank you, Arna. Yes, Sonal.
Can we have a question also?
No, not yet. Sonal.
Companies like Upgrad on LinkedIn or the Google search engine, it is influenced by USA. So I would like to say that our own, the Central Board of Secondary Education, that is the CBSE, on its official website, that is cbse.academic, under the skills education, it has conducted many career fests and it has created very much awareness about different career options available. They themselves have a handbook of it, and I guess CBSE isn't influenced by anything, and at the same time, the students of the government schools could use the resources, the computers in the government schools to access such resources, and they are totally free of cost. And also, I would like to say that, like my worthy opponents, they say, some of them claim that parents and children should decide together and have a consensus of this. But this topic and this thought, this completely loses the essence of the debate, in which we have to take an extreme side, that is for or against the motion. So this appeals to my conscience that they are taking somewhere middle of the motion, which isn't the essence of the debate. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. We can, as a discussion, we can go on and on and on with it and reach really nowhere. I want to bring about a certain points as to the relevance of a debate. And this is for you to learn how to debate. It has nothing to do with any criticism personally, but you people are young and you'll be going in for many levels of debate. So I'm going to analyze each and every speaker on the merits and demerits of the debate itself, not the argument as such. Please take it constructively. This is not meant to hurt your feelings or anything like that. But as a teacher, if I don't tell you, what went wrong, you will never learn for future. Okay. So in that context, first of all, I'll take up Sonal, who started the debate. Sonal, see, all of you, I don't know how much experience you have in debates, but I found this whole forum a bit amateur. For considering the age group you are in, I expected it to be a more mature debate. So that is why today I'm telling you all this, because when you go into debate with in forums, you would be faced with very, very difficult, competition. So that is why, Sonal, first of all, your speech was clear but too fast. So when you speak this fast, the audience is not able to grasp the meaning and the essence of your words. So each word, each sentence should be clear and slow enough for the audience to register. Then, since you were for the topic, you were analyzing the words very well, whether it was decision or whether it was careers in the supplement. But in analyzing this, what you were doing was contradicting yourself. Because when you were analyzing these words of careers and decide, when especially decide, decision, the sense of this whole motion was, should parents decide? So whether it is, you were contradicting it by making it facilitating. If parents facilitate, it dilutes the decision. So I don't know how much you will understand this, but when you go and look at your written material, you are talking almost to the opposite side. So from that point of view, it was lacking in content. Your content should have been better researched. It was well explained what you were doing and your heart was in it, but somehow you were losing the focus of the debate. Then we had Shreya. Shreya, I like the way you enumerated your points in a debate. It's very essential that to be clear when you say number 1, 2, 3, 4, it reaches the audience, very well, and they can assimilate. So your enumeration of points was done very well, but the scope of the debate was not well defined in your content. And in your supplement section, you were contradicting yourselves. Like you said, if parents are to decide, if parents are to decide the profession of the child, the seats were going vacant, and science, you're not supporting it with any logical data. This kind of data, like somebody, I think somebody said, Arshi said, it was the data was very baseless. It was not data. It was data taken from newspapers and magazines, which are not authentic. So when you say 25% of the seats were full and teachers were, waiting and no students were coming, this kind of a data is not authentic data. So that led to a lot of contradiction. Then Arna, your introduction was very effective, and it was a very well stated motion, which a lot of you did not actually state the motion so well. In a debate, when you start off, the motion must be very, very clear. Secondly, what I found lacking all over was the formality of the debate. Where in a debate, very, very formal address systems, very formal language is to be used, which was lacking in almost all the debates. So that was one thing where you should have, done more research. Some of the pronunciations, I won't go deeply into pronunciations because it is more about English language, like miracle and, things like that. Improve your pronunciation. Fluency of language should be improved. And it was a well-written debate. But a well-written debate is not a well-delivered debate. So sometimes, your teachers write for you, or even if you write yourself, writing me, you are, you're concentrating more on the content. You write a well debate, but your heart is not convinced about it. And when you deliver a debate, it doesn't come out effective. So your debate was well written, whoever wrote it, but the pauses should have been better. How it shows that a debate is well written but not delivered? Because you learnt it up. So you pause at the wrong places. When I speak to you, my pauses are natural. Whereas if I read to you, I have learned the debate, so my pauses are as per what I've been taught. And that is what loses the essence. Okay. Now your supplement section again was a little weak. I should have thought that you would have been more convinced about what you were saying. Maria, again, your debate was learnt. It was not felt. You had learned the debate. When you even when you forget a sentence and you pick up, you can forget. I'm talking to you. I can forget, my train of thought may be disturbed, but I am not faltering for words which I learned. So I'm not coming back to my script. When you show that, it means you've learned the debate. You're not speaking from the heart. And your statements, in the supplement section were very biased and not convincing. Why should a student fail just because he's chosen something? I mean, just because a student wants to become a writer, why would you expect that he fails in it? and he would have, been successful if he had followed his father's passion. So these kind of statements are baseless. They don't have anything to support. Okay, Arshi, your debate was well written, well stated, and somebody's guided you well, because you did use the kind of language that was supposed to be used in a debate, and also the expression and your face expressions matched what you were saying, so it sounded more convincing. But what you need to do more is good voice modulation. You as a person giving advice or as a counselor, your voice and the way you spoke was really good, but as a debater you need to learn more good voice modulation. Secondly, you have to understand the importance of eye contact. Of course, today you're on camera, but even in a camera, the importance of eye contact becomes more important, because I cannot, see your body language, or way you're standing, way you're behaving. So all I judge you is from your eye contact. So that practice well. Again, the argument that you put up, that it should have been, the data projected should be taken from very authentic sources. I think that is a good idea. Now, Florence, you need to improve your fluency of language, and even the debate was rather amateur, because you need to train more on debate. Debate is a matter of training. It is not that you're a born good debater. The more you debate, the better you become. So I think participate in more debates to become better. And it was like voicing your thoughts. So for an informal discussion, you were perfectly okay. But for a debate, you need good guidance to become a good debater. Now, overall, when I see the question answer round was pretty interesting, and most of you did pretty well, because it was more of a discussion. I'll come to you, Sonal. Now, overall, as a debate, the motion seems to have lost, because overall the people who spoke against the motion seemed much more convincing than the people who spoke for the motion, because all of you who spoke for the motion diluted your debate by presenting it with the motion was, should parents decide the careers of their children? Now when you say that they must consult and they must decide together, it loses a sense. You have to convince the audience that parents are the ultimate decision makers in the career of a child, and that is what is best for them. There is no, you could have put up points like, the youth is young and they do not know the careers that they want to choose. They do not have that kind of vision. So that is why they get led by peer pressure, which we often see. Because one friend is, joining a academy for JEE, all children will go there, without realizing that they just can't become engineers. And similarly, a person feels that college is good because, it gives you a lot of freedom and all children go there. So this kind of peer pressure works a lot. And also it's glamour. Glamour attracts the young. So from at that age, a glamorous job may sound very attractive, but it may not be for them. So parents can make very informed decisions. These could have been the arguments, for the ones who were for the motion. Whereas against the motion, your arguments were pretty good, because overall you did discuss some of the things you left out. Were that awareness is so much more in the children now, because again, the peer group, you discuss so much, you read so much, you are more tech savvy, so the awareness with the children is much more. Then also, you must not leave any loophole for your opposition, and that is why I say write the debate as an opponent, because you left a lot of loopholes where you could be questioned. So before that, my worthy opponent may feel that, and then you give the answer so that there is no question. So those kind of things were lacking in the debate. It's an age group where career has to be chosen and it affects the whole life. So the ultimate decision has to be one person's, either the parents or the children. This fact was not brought out very clearly in the debate. All of you took a middle path, that, parents are very good, they should also, participate in it, and we should sort of mutually decide. So that lost the sense of the debate. Overall, it was a nice experience. Just because I criticized so much does not mean that it was a bad debate. I just do it so that next time you improve. Yes, Sonal, you wanted to say something.
I just wanted to make a clarification that it wasn't Ashi, it was me who pointed out the fact that the data was picked up from inauthentic sources and about that it should be critically analyzed whenever we are picking it from a newspaper, as it is highly influenced by the different trends.
Okay. Thank you for the clarification. Yes, it was you. What I liked about Ashi's thing was that she clarified where to take the data from. You know, from the CBSE handbooks and all. That is why I think I remembered it more. So that is what I was appreciating. And yours, of course, the data that other people were quoting was definitely not authentic data taken on from magazines. So that was a very good point. So thank you very much. I thoroughly enjoyed the debate and I hope to see you on higher platforms someday and becoming really good debaters. Being a debater is a challenge. And it is really good as a personality development tool to debate. Because, you know, when you debate a lot, first discuss, and when you debate a lot, what happens is your vision widens. You see all aspects of a particular topic. So that is very important in your adult life. And I hope to see more of such debates. Thank you very much.
I have not seen any adjudicator or any moderator explain to such extent the criticisms. I have only seen like they explain just short and just leave. They are mostly in a hurry, really. That's what I have seen usually.
My main aim of, I don't know how good a moderator I was, but I'm basically a teacher at heart and I just want that everything should be a learning experience. It doesn't end here. So tomorrow when you go for a debate, you should be at least 5 notches higher than what you are. And, somewhere you should, reach the top. So that is always my vision on whenever I judge debates. I'm glad you liked it.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Ma'am, for providing such valuable insights.
Thank you.